Hello and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be doing year number 2 of our rebuild of the Montreal Canadiens. As you can see, we've made a couple lineup changes from year 1. We've had a couple players develop a little bit more, and this is going to be our lines for the 2026-2027 season. So it'll be year number 2. These are going to be our lines. We have Ivan Demidov, Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, Slap, Kirby Dach, Bolduc, Kefler Sherwood, Adam Lowry, and Brendan Gallagher, Joe Veleno, Jake Evans, and Alex Newhook. Defensively, Lane Hudson, Noah Dobson at a +2, Carrier Matheson, and then Caden Gooley and Arbor Jacki. Goaltending, we have Montembeault and Fowler. And in the AHL, we're going to have Dobish starting. We made that change start this year. And our lines consist of, in the AHL, just a couple of prospects trying to develop in Waugh and Kapanen and even Davidson. Then we have Hage, Farrell, and Owen Beck. Honestly, I think Sean Farrell will be one of our trade pieces towards getting a second line or even defenseman. Then we have Florine Jacki, Logan Swayer, and Alexander Sarowski. On our third line, Antoine Koivu, Lucas Konada, and Riley Kidney. And defensively, we have Alexander Kulyamadov, who we drafted in the third round and of this year's draft, and he is a low elite 77 overall. A great pickup on his entry level deal, and honestly can't wait to see what he has in store for his career with Adam Enstrom, who was drafted in the third round as well, 2022. Then we have William Trudeau, fourth round draft pick. Bogdan Koviash. He is a really good player in the KHL. I hope he kind of develops a little bit. Hoping to see that. Owen Protz, fourth round draft pick. And then Derek Louis Cheval. Louis Jean. And that rounds out our entire team. And I will see you guys at either the halfway point or the trade deadline whenever we really make a move. Okay, I'm back at the start. I'm still at the start of the regular season. As you can see, 0 games played. But Connor McMichael's on the trade block. He's an 86. He's still unsigned at 25. Washington doesn't have cap space to sign him at all. And they gave Nick Schmaltz a very, very big contract. They gave Nick Schmaltz a contract of $9 million. And Tuck a contract of $9 million. And Chychrun a $9 million. And they just don't have cap space to sign Connor McMichael. So I'm going to give up Newhook a second and a third to see if it goes through. It doesn't. I'm going to add a little bit of a sweetener, and I'm going to add a next year fourth round pick to kind of see. That also doesn't do it. Maybe I gotta switch that fourth to a third. Maybe that gets it done. That still doesn't get it done. So I'll add a fourth for next year. This is kind of aggravating right now. And that gets the deal done, and we now have Connor McMichael, and we can go sign him whenever, which is great because we do actually have cap space to sign Connor McMichael to a 1-year deal. As you see, he's only asking for $3 million. We'll give him a $3.5 million deal for 1 year. He'll obviously get back to us. So we'll sim a couple days quickly, see if he accepts. Michael DeGrasso accepts his qualifying offer. Having a conversation with my good buddy Marty St. Louis. He's going to set our season goal. We're going to set our preseason goal as well, which is going to be goaltending, obviously, is us having a young goaltender. We want to develop him as best as possible. We want to make sure he's doing we're doing the best we can for him. We're going to decline that trade. Pretty poor trade, to be honest. And Connor McMichael signs, and he will be our second line center. And these are our new lines, offensive lines after trading and acquiring for Connor McMichael. Somebody had to drop, and that of course is going to be Kirby Doc down to the second line. Or to the third line. Kind of unfortunate having him not play his skilled position. We could have him play center over Lowry, but Lowry is just better in the circle, and then Sherwood as well. So our lines consists of Demidov, Suzuki, Caulfield, Slav, McMichael, and Bolduc. Kepler, Sherwood, Lowry, and Doc. Kapanen, Evans, and Gallagher. And in the net, we still have Montembeau and Fowler, and we have no scratches. And that is all for our lineup. Catch you at the halfway point. Can't wait to see what this team does. At the halfway point of the season, or as some would say, the trade deadline, and looking at our statistical stats on the right-hand side, honestly, it makes me want to shed a tear. We are 23rd in goals for per game. We are first, which makes me smile, in goals against per game. We have the second worst power play in the league, and we are fourth in penalty kill, which makes me a bit happy. But we're only third in our division, which is kind of upsetting to see as we came second last year, and we had just an overall great year. Um, Montembeau was fourth in wins, sorry. But for our stats, like team stats, 57 points only leads our team in points, and we've played 62 games, so nobody's really close to being, that point per game player. Um, we have Nick Suzuki at 57, Cole Caulfield at 53, having an up year, though I will say that, to last year. Zachariah Bolduc is at 42. Ivan Demidov is at 41. Lane Hudson is at 40. Connor McMichael, who we recently acquired, is at 36. Dobson, 34. Yuri Slavkovsky at 31. And Kefler Sherwood at 28, rounding out this front page. Leads our team in goals is Cole Caulfield with Bolduc, Slavkovsky, Sherwood, Suzuki, and Demidov rounding out. Adam Lowry being on the third line is on this front page for us in goals, which is a little bit upsetting to see, as I think other guys should be up here, guys fulfilling their role, like a Hudson. But we're at the trade deadline. We definitely need somebody who can put the puck in the back of the net. So we're going to be looking at an all-around just goal scorer in this trade deadline. And of course, we're going to be a buyer. And of course we're going to enter. So I'm going to let the video cut off here, and I will cut back to when I have found somebody I am willing to trade for. Hopefully they can score goals. Okay, I'm back here with a trade, and I'm going to look at Stefan Noesen. Definitely not a guy you would, definitely not a guy you'd imagine to be for me trading for. With being a very skilled team. He's a 34-year-old on a 1-year deal with a 7-team no trade clause, and we are one of the teams he's interested in. He's only making 2.6 million, very, very friendly. But the thing is he has 32 goals already, and we are looking at a goal scorer. So I think Nosek is definitely going to be a guy I'm interested in getting for that little 1 year. And unfortunately, I'm going to be giving up Farrell a third, a fourth, and a seventh. Hopefully that gets the deal done. It does not. I will be going back, trying to get a little bit more for it to go. We'll give a fifth and a sixth instead. Hopefully that does it. That still doesn't do it. Ugh! I'm gonna lose it here. We're going to give away pretty much most of our draft picks. I don't really want to. I enjoy having these draft picks. I just wish there were more for us to give up without giving up too much. Like a top prospect, like a Liam Ruck, who's a second round pick, or a Mason Normack, who's our first round pick, or any of these guys up here. They are all very easily able to develop, and I'm not willing to just trade away a prospect. But I think I'm going to have to, and I'm honestly stuck between Endenstrom He's just a little bit too old he's 23, he's a 78. Doesn't really fit into our window. And we're going to pair that with a this year fourth, and that gets accepted, and that is a great deal to get done. Getting Stefan Nosek with 32 goals. We're probably going to throw him up into the second line. Taking Slav down, unfortunately, but I'm going to look at more trades, and we'll see if I can get any. Alright, and these are going to be our lines after the trade deadline. We have Ivan Demidov, Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, Nosen, Lowry, Bolduc, Slav, McMichael, Sherwood, Doc, Evans, and Gallagher. Defense stayed the exact same. Goaltending stayed the exact same. And our AHL gets Oliver Kapanen. I'm putting LJ Mooney on this first line to hopefully get him to develop, becoming one of the best players our organization will ever see. I'm going to move Page up to that first line because he is younger. And I'm going to keep the rest of the same. And defensively, we have our little buddy in Kulyamadov with 31 points in 55 games for Laval. He's playing really well. Hopefully he can play, the same way he's playing. Ryan Backer will probably make the NHL next year. And I'm pretty sure Carrier is at the end of his deal. He is. We might give him a contract and flip him. I'm not too sure yet. He is an 84, but he is 30 years old. Matheson also might get a trade here soon. He's only with the team for 2 more seasons. He's only making 6.2, but he does have a no movement clause. I thought I gave him like a restricted trade clause, but apparently I didn't, which is really unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm going to see you guys now at the end of the season to see if we make the playoffs or not. And we're at the end of the season. We just barely made the playoffs, getting the first wild card spot at 80 or 97 points, which means we're going to be playing the Washington Capitals. We played them last year in the Eastern Conference Finals and lost, so let's hopefully get our revenge against them. And our team leader in points this year was Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki, tied at 57 each. Stefan Nosek was third at 68. Zachary Bolduc was fourth at 59. Then we have Demidov at 54. Hudson at 52. Dobson at 44. McMichael at 41. Matheson at 38. Lowry at 37. And Uri Slavkovsky at 35. Then we have Sherwood at 34. Doc at 31. Evans at 29. Gallagher at 24, Carey at 22, Gooley 17, and Arbor-Jacki at 8. And our team leader in goals was Cole Caulfield and Nosek, both at 38 each. And in net, Fowler only played 22 games. He had 8 wins, 10 losses, and a 917. Montembeault played another 60-game season, this time 63 games, with 38 wins, 21 losses, 4 overtime losses, but 6 shutouts, and a 911 and a 2.8. Rookies, we didn't really have any rookies all year besides for Fowler. So let's hope Fowler can win us a Calder, but I do really doubt it. And now we're going to see who we're playing in the playoffs. We already know. It is the Washington Capitals. Hopefully, we can beat them this year. Let's hope. At the end of the first game in Washington, we end up, if it would like to simulate, we end up winning 7-0. That's a very big win. Game 2, we lose. Coming back home for Game 3, that's another overtime loss. Hopefully, we can get a win here. Don't want to go down 3-1 on the road. And we win. Game number 5. Or game number 4, game number 5 here. It is a loss, a 5-3 loss. And will we be first round exits, or can we you know, make it out, push a game 7. And we end up losing to Alex Ovechkin's goal with 4 minutes left. And that is a 3-2 loss, which means our season comes to an end much earlier than it did last year, which is a little bit upsetting, but now it's kind of off to free agency into the draft, so I'll catch you at the draft. And these are your draft lottery results for this year. The top 5 being St. Louis, Calgary, Buffalo, Anaheim, and Los Angeles. Hopefully, really hopefully, we can draft another gem like we did. Ovechkin does retire with 1,000 career goals, and those are his awards. Wow, those are just insane. And Patrick Kane retires. Ryan Suter retires. Ryan Suter retires. Oh, no awards for Ryan Suter. Ooh. Ryan McDonough also retires with another cup in this year. Tampa Bay did win the 2026-2027 Stanley Cup. Bogosian and Hammock. Jonathan Quick retires. Martin Jones also retires, as well as James Reimer. And as we approach this year's draft, maybe we go for a trade up in this year's draft. Who knows? The draft class is Landon Dubon's draft class. It's a very good draft class here, and we might make a trade. Probably not, though. Not looking to really trade. So we're going to go to pick number 22, and we're going to have a good selection here in the second round. We could go for Peter Tomic, Oliver Sundberg, or Enlin. We're obviously not going to be looking into any defensemen, of course. Alexander Steen, 2 years. And we're going to take Sundberg with our pick due to him being a right-handed player. And we obviously made the right decision there in taking Sundberg. He's a 74 with Send It, which is great. Already has an ability. Top 6, medium forward. We're going to sim to pretty much the last pick of the draft that we have, which is a 5th rounder. Would love to have more, but we just do not. And I think I'm going to go with Stanton, just because he is 2 years younger. He's a little bit worse than Buckcon. It's 5 overall difference between the two. Would love to see it be a little bit of a difference. Round 6. Very much out of my territory here. Normally I don't make picks past the 5th round. And with them being so many defensemen, I'm going to have to go with a right shot defenseman because we just don't really have many. Obviously he's not very good. Probably won't really make the lineup ever, but just to pick him, to be there. Want to make at least 2 picks a draft, and we did. We had 4. We made 3 of the picks. Very exciting stuff. Heading to the re-sign phase, we obviously have head coaches to re-sign as well, which is going to be very big. So I will cut back to when I have hired coaches or even the players. I only gave him a 4 team. And at the end of day number 1, we have Gallagher accepting, Carrier rejecting, Kirby Doc accepting, Demidov accepting, McMichael accepting, and we are left with $18 million in cap space. Nosek is wanting just too much. He's wanting $6 million for a year. Not really willing to offer him a $6 million contract just yet, or really at all. Carrier is asking for $5.5 million, but I'm deciding I'm going to trade him away. I'm going to give him a modified no trade clause. We'll do 50% for 4 teams, or for 4 years. Hopefully he'll accept that. And goaltending wise, we're going to be letting go of Samuel Montembeault. He's asking for $6 million, and I'm not willing to give him $6 million when we have Fowler right there. He'll go to free agency, and we'll see if there's other goalies available. If not, we might have to bring him back at a very high price, but I'm only willing to bring him back for 1 or 2 years. Not trying to put us in cap hell. RFAs, we're letting Luke Tuck go. UFAs, we're going to let a couple of these guys go. And unsigned, we could obviously sign a bit more, but there's not really very many players I want playing right away. We're obviously going to have to sign you, though, Van Ryn, because you're playing out. You can come make an instant impact. And Oliver Schoenberg can come make an instant impact in Laval. Gary Ray, our head coach in the AHL, accepts, which is great to see. Feel like your role you offered me is appropriate given my skill set. I am not interested in joining with this job title, which is a bit insane because that's what you wanted. Our scouts, though, accept again, and another one. And Carrie decides to reject. I have rejected your offer. At this point in my career, I want to be on a team that is vying for the Stanley Cup. Well, buddy, Carrier, we are. Maybe if I give him what he's asking for exactly, maybe even a little bit more, because we are going to use him as a trade target. Another scout accepts. And he accepts as well. So for one day we weren't a cap team, the next day we are. Kind of crazy to see. Some of the contracts we gave out, Demidov was a 5-year, $6 million deal. McMichael was 3 years at 3.5. Kirby Doc was 1 year, $4 million. Gallagher was 3 years at 1.7. Struble, we gave a 2-year, $800,000 contract. Owen Beck, we gave the same 2-way, $800,000 contract. And that is all for the contracts we gave out. I will catch you at the draft, or I will catch you at the free agency, and hopefully we can get Marty St. Louis locked up. He is asking for quite a bit of money. I don't know if we'll be able to give him what he's asking for, because our budget's only $450,000. And we need an assistant coach, or we need an assistant coach or an associate coach in the AHL. So hopefully we can go and get an NHL coach. Maybe it has to be a free agent NHL coach, but we'll see. We'll offer him exactly what he wants, and we'll see if we're able to or not. Furthermore, not interested in joining with this job title again. I don't know why. We've started off on the right foot, but you're offering me a role. Marty, I don't know what your interest is in with these roles. Like, I'm giving you exactly the role. Oh, and he accepts, so it's a bit crazy to see. We need an associate coach. We definitely have a ton of budget remaining, clearly. He decides to decline. I don't really know what else I could really do there for him. But we are now at free agency, and we have cap space and a roster spot available. Not sure if we're going to go out and ball out and get somebody, or if we're just going to be conservative and save our cap. But I would like to go out and get at least one forward to replace the Stefan Nosek. And Blake Coleman looks like a great. He only wants $4 million for 2 years. He's an 86, but he's 35. We could go and get Philippe Dino for 2 years at $4 million. That would be a great deal as well, bringing him back to Montreal. And I think that is the deal we're going to be making, as well as looking at a goaltender as well. Goaltending, Montembeault is the best player in his class, but we could go for Jordan Binnington and split the starts. And split starts between him and Fowler. For 3.3, 1 year, we're going to offer Jordan Binnington the contract. He obviously is going to accept, because why wouldn't you want to come play for Montreal? And we're going to sign Philippe Dino to a $4 million 2-year deal. He played very well in Montreal. Let's hope he can come back and play at the same skill level. And we're going to look at other prospects in case he declines. Drew Doughty is very clearly a delusional everything. He's got one X factor, and he's asking for $9 million. That is just, no one is going to give you that deal. Sorry, sir, but no one's giving you that deal. That has got to be one of the worst deals I have seen in a very, very long time. As well, we're going to continue to look, but throughout, I just don't think that there's going to be anybody else that we are going to be signing. I think it's just going to be him, maybe even a Josh Anderson to play in Laval for $1 million, $2 million, 1 year. He can come back, be that guy that's just sitting in the press box the whole time, kind of just there, bring up vibes. But that is going to be all for the free agency part. Decides to reject our offer. A little bit unfortunate to see him reject our offer, but we're going to go back into free agency and we're going to go ahead and look for another player to fill that spot. Obviously, very big glooming bright spot is going out and getting a Blake Coleman. We're obviously looking for a veteran presence on our team. We're very young, very, very skilled. If we go out and get a veteran, a good veteran at that, put him in the third or fourth line, you know, we could see our team grow and see our team get much better. As you can see, Drew Doughty's starting to realize, whoa, I'm asking for way too much. He's still asking for way too much, but we'll see if that goes down. Jeff Skinner went from asking for 9 down to 2 million. Nobody's giving you that deal unless you're the Buffalo Sabres. But as well, I wouldn't mind going out and getting somebody younger either. Like there was Bobby Brink. Bobby Brink is here. He's 25 years old. He's an 83. I'm willing to give him a 1 year sort of prove it deal at 3, maybe even 4 million. We'll do 3.75 and see if he accepts that. If not, we'll go out and look for maybe another player to go out and get. Drouin asking for way too much. Wouldn't mind bringing him back, but if you'd ask for a little bit less, he'd obviously get that from us. But I do really doubt it. Blake Coleman is starting to get interest now, and I wouldn't mind going out and just offering him just a cheeky little contract to see if he'd even budge, maybe even sign. He'll let us know for sure. He's gonna reject. That is perfectly okay. And Bobby Brink is also rejecting as well. We're really starting to get into that spot where we might have to go and trade for somebody. I'm really hoping to get maybe a Drew Doughty, 1 year deal for Drew Doughty. If he decides to, you know, maybe not want so much money. Hopefully that'll be sooner than later. I do really think that he'd be a great addition. A Kuzmenko, a Ross Colton, somebody nice and young. But for now, we're going to just hope and see that his contract just goes down. That what he wants just goes down. I doubt somebody's going to pay him that much money. Guess somebody paid him that much money. Kind of crazy. Crazy for me to believe that a team is interested in giving him that much money. We're kind of at that point where we're just watching free agents disappear. So I think that is going to be it. That's going to be all for our free agency. I don't really think that we can go and get really anybody else. I mean, if Montembeault's still there, which he's not. Maybe a backup in the AHL. maybe. I'm not too sure really where we could go. Not too sure really what, very many teams are looking at. Maybe going out and getting them. They're all too old really in net just to really develop. So I think that's going to be it and all for this year's video, I should say, because this is going to be the end of this year in year number 2. Hopefully next year can bring a little bit more on the table. Hopefully we can do a little bit more in the playoffs, and hopefully our team is just that little bit better going into the season. And that's going to be all for this video. Thank you for, if you watched all the way, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, or even a comment on how you feel, what I should have done differently, this or that. Perfectly okay. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. Feel free. Um, Let me know how I did, and have a great rest of your day. See ya.